I mean, obviously later on we became used to you sort of playing in midfield and coming through, but as a youngster it was it was wherever you could get a game, wasn't it?
Well, it was. At that time I was kind of playing up front, although, you know, I used to wander playing up front. I used to probably play off a target man in those days, and then I got into the side playing on the wing, because that was the only place I could get accommodated, you know, in those early days. But eventually, as I never really enjoyed playing up front, to be honest, Dave, and then later on I can kind of drop back to a wing half, as they used to call it in those days, and then I used to start bombing forward, trying to get goals. It was probably one of the first type of, you know, first kind of generation that started doing that, you know, bombing forward and getting goals, and that is how I changed and converted to playing that way. And I like to see grass in front of me, you see. I never really liked playing with my back to goal, Dave, and then, as I say, I like seeing holes appear and grass in front of me and going in the holes and getting the goals, and I was fortunate enough to have a you know, a good shot on me, and I used to, you know, like hitting balls from outside the box and long distances, and you know, I scored quite a few, and that is where the nickname the Bomber came about, you know, bombing forward, getting in goals. And but in the early part of my career, throughout my career, even playing in that role, most of my goals have probably been scored inside the box and around the, you know, the six tap-ins and knock-ins and going in for things. And it's just one of those things. People say, how did you get in that position to score? And you say, I don't know really. It's an instinct that you have that's born with you, and you go into it, and, you know, fortunate enough that most of the time the balls would drop there and you score your goals.
You mentioned, you know, the power and the ferocity of your shot, and obviously you were an expert on the volley in particular. I mean, was that natural? Or was that hours in the back garden?
No, it was kind of. No, I mean, I must admit, I worked on that a lot in training during the week, volleying and half volleying, and that became kind of my forte. I scored a lot of goals from volleys and half volleys, and I think that was the reward for the extra hours I would put in, you know, during the week. I'd go shooting for you know, as long as I could get a keeper to go in, you know, to work with you and keeper, and I was fortunate enough at times, you know, and had a lot of keepers that were prepared to come back and work themselves, and so it worked ideally. And I think I got a lot of rewards from going back in the afternoons, you know, shooting sessions.
When you came into the team, we'd already got some pretty decent players that were young and going forward. People like Bobby Hope, Clive Clark, Graham Williams. It was a basis for a side, and then Jimmy Hagan sort of added to that pretty successfully. John Kay, Jeff Astor, people like that. Obviously, that then moved on to the Great Cup team.
Dougie Fraser, John Talbot, all these lads came on. It became a kind of a new team really, and it was a very good side, and it was a successful side in the 60s. I mean, the success we had in the 60s was fantastic. You know, we won the FA Cup, we won the League Cup, was in the League Cup final twice. You know, they say success is judged by what you win, and we won trophies in the 60s. And a lot of people tend to forget about it. You know, Albion fans, you know, but it was a really great time to watch the Albion in the 60s.
I mean, that League Cup, first of all, the League Cup win in '66, I mean, that was the first time we'd even entered the competition.
That's right, yeah. There was a few teams that were still not entered, I think, at that time, but we played in it, and we had a terrific run, and we got fantastic, you know, good crowds. I mean, I remember we played Walsall down here, and the crowd was unbelievable. I think it was 40,000, you know, and the atmosphere was brilliant. We knocked them up. And then we played West Ham in the final. It was two-legged. It was the last time, I think it was two legs, the League Cup as it was called then. And we lost away at West Ham, and then we brought them back here, and it was Wednesday evening, and this place was rocking. Absolutely, the atmosphere was brilliant. And in the dressing room, I've never known a set of players all the time I've been playing in 20 years that wanted to get out onto a pitch and get a job done. They were knocking the door down, the lads, to get out, you know, and we came out, and I think we were 4 up in about 20 minutes. We absolutely destroyed West Ham on the night, and as I say, we won the trophy, which was fantastic. First trophy that you know, I'd won with Albion. It was a great time.
Must have been special. I mean, obviously going to Wembley is a great thing, but to actually win a cup and pick it up over there in the director's box in Hawthorns, that must have been a nice thing.
No, it's fantastic. In front of your own fans, you know, you can show the cup, and then the fans can appreciate what we've done. But I remember I can remember it like yesterday, the night. The atmosphere here was, you know, there's been about half a dozen times where there's been a fantastic atmosphere, and I always say that night was right at the top there. And in front of your own fans, it was brilliant to win a trophy. You know, there's nothing like it, because it's a team effort. You've all been in it together, and we were a great bunch of players in the dressing room. We got on well together. Not a bad apple lot, as I call them. You know, lads who got on together, socialised together, and that doesn't half make it a lot easier. And the togetherness, as I call it, in that team was brilliant.
And you know, people forget it was the West Ham team that went on and won the World Cup about 3 months later. Hurst, Peters, Moore, Standen in goal, and a good side, very good side. But as I say, on that night, within 25 minutes, we destroyed them. We absolutely went for them from the start, got the goals, never looked back. Just they were never in it on the evening, and as I say, job done. If that was the great night, I would imagine 12 months later was one of the low points of your career, the League Cup final again, but this time at Wembley.
Do you have to mention it, Dave?
Your career. You should have won.
Well, we should have won, because we played QPR, who were 3rd division at that time, the old 3rd division. We were in the 1st division, and as everybody knows, we were 2-0 up at half time. Clive Clark had scored 2 goals, coasting really, and it's one of them things you can't explain. For some reason, we came out of the second half. QPR got back in the game. Rodney Marsh put on a great second half display that day, and he was the instigator really. He tortured a little bit. They think they got a goal that should have been a foul when our goalkeeper Dick Shepherd was fouled. The boot went in his chest. He released the ball and they scored from it. And it all went wrong in the second half, and we lost the game. And it was just, we just didn't. You know, a lot of people said that, you know, these rumours go around that the manager had said certain things at half time, but I can't remember anything like that. All I can remember was the manager saying, look, go out, do exactly the same, like all managers will when you're winning at half time if you've played well. And we did play well in that first half, but for some reason it just complete turnaround second half. We lost the game, and the lads were so disappointed. I've never seen a dressing room like it. It was like a morgue. I mean, it is when you lose, but that particular, you know, at Wembley as well, it was oh, it really was like a morgue. But like we all said at the time, we have to get on with it. Yeah, and we were a good set of lads, and we said, you know, we've got to go and win something the next season to compensate for it, because we've let these fans. That was the thing. We let these fans down, and they let us know about it on the way from Wembley, going down the Wembley way back out of it. You know, the Albion fans let us know what, and you know, thoroughly right. You know, we deserved it. We didn't perform from the second half.
I mean, that basically did for Jimmy Hagan, didn't it? That result, and Alan Ashman came in.
That's
I mean,
right.
how much was that defeat the sort of the motivating factor for the cup run the following season?
I think it had everything to do with it, because I think the lads started that following season determined to do something the following season to appease the fans, really, to get back in the good books with them, and that's what we did. We had a fantastic run in the FA Cup again, especially Jeff. Jeff scored in every round. Like I'd done in the League Cup the previous year, to be fair, and Jeff did it in the FA Cup, and also John Osborne in goal at the back had a fantastic cup run, he pulled saves out from everywhere in games, and we had a tremendous run. And as I say, we got back to Wembley in the FA Cup final. See, it's more glorious than the League Cup, and we were underdogs on the day against a very, very good Everton side. You know, with Alan Ball and all the rest. It wasn't the best of games, football wise, but didn't matter because Jeff finished his goal scoring spurt off again by scoring in the final again, cracking left foot drive.
It was a Tony Brown goal almost.
Well, it was a great half volley. You know, he'd had a shot first of all. It came back to it actually hit Graham Lovett up the backside and come back to Jeff, and Jeff smashed it in on the half volley right in the top corner. And Graham Lovett still to this day he'll say he'd give him an assist for the goal for hitting up the backside, and that was enough to win. It was a grueling extra time, but we managed to stay 1-0, and that was really what I'd always dreamt of as a schoolboy, going up those, seen it so many times in the FA Cup, going up the steps to get, and I dreamt that as a schoolboy, and to be actually doing it, going up them steps was absolutely brilliant, and to receive the medal, receive the cup, and yeah, and that was that for us. We'd been brilliant to the fans that time because we'd let them down the following year. You know, we'd appeased them. It's brilliant.
It was an extraordinary run, really. I mean, it had everything in it, didn't it? I mean, Colchester, we should have been knocked out because they had a goal disallowed, and Graham Williams goes in goal at Southampton, and
yeah, we lost it. Yeah. We thought we're out of the cup in the first round, as you just said. Colchester away. I mean, they scored right at the end. It was one each. They scored what we all thought was a good goal. We were all walking back, lining up, thinking we're out of the FA Cup. For some reason, I don't think any lads know to this day. The referee disallowed it. Still don't know what for. John Talbot, after they scored, he thought we were out because he kicked the ball out of the ground in disgust. But the referee, for some reason, as I say, said no goal, and we brought them down here, and I think we won 3. I think it was. And then Graham Williams against Southampton. John Osborne went off. Graham Williams went in goal. And they were taking the mickey out of him. The Southampton lads. They thought, oh, we will win this game now. But we pulled together. Had a great win. We had a little bit of luck in the semi-final against Birmingham at Villa Park, because I think it was Fred Picking was up front for them. He had 2 or 3 great chances to score, but he didn't. And myself and Jeff got a goal each, and we won 2-0. So, yeah, it was a to-in and fro-in. We had 3 great games against Liverpool as well in the 6th round. Absolutely, one here, one there, and Main Road. You know, where we beat them again. Chippy Clark scored. He was brilliant on the night. And yeah, it was that togetherness that pulled us through that run, and finished up winning the cup, which was, as I say, was the highlight of my career. I would say, really, winning that FA Cup. There was nothing like it. Whether they get the same feeling today, I'm not too sure, because it's a little bit devalued in modern times, the FA Cup. But at that time, that was the holy grail, the FA Cup. It was, it was big all over the world, and we won it.